everybody needs to kill time at the downtown mini mall at the junk shop on the square. My name's Brenden. I've been part of the mini mall for, well, literally my whole life. It's my granddad's store, so from the time I was born to the time today, I've spent almost literally every day of my life in the store. My granddad's name is Leo Will. He got the store in 1982 after he had kind of owned a miniature store off of Avenue C, and he had Samsonite luggage. So he decided, well, I've got all this luggage and property's cheap on the square right now, so why not go get a space, sell all my luggage out of it, and then try and rent some spaces out. Got his first store, and then 2 years later got this second one, and really hadn't looked back since. But right now, I'll tell you what, he's a crotchety, old, awesome, heart of gold Italian dude. I love him. When the stores were acquired, the entire area was dead. There was no activity on the square whatsoever. And it was once we opened the stores and we started to get vendors in, around the mid-90s is when the boom actually happened, and people started to come up to the square more, less Fry Street, more square. It just became a hub, and then the stores became a staple. It's kind of tough to pick out anecdotes because it's kind of like, just picking out a scene from life. We used to have a PA system that I hooked up, and before I hooked up this PA system, we just shouted over the store. One of the people that I worked with, I was real close with, John, would sit there and we would do impressions over the PA system.
Yeah. Pantera. Yeah.
The thing about Beavis, Butthead, and Hank Hill was Mike Judge is from Texas, and he came through one day.
Shut up, Beavis.
He came through the mini mall, and John and I were working together, and I'll tell you, it was probably the proudest moment in my voice acting career, because I got to do Beavis, Butthead, and Hank Hill for Mike Judge, and he actually liked it. He said it was good, and that was all the ego boost that I think I needed. I just remember kind of standing, looking at what was it's essentially like a childhood home. Okay, so the fire happened December 26th, 2017. John called me and said, "Brenden, the mini mall's on fire." And at first I just laughed and went, "Haha, good one, why'd you wake me up? It's too early." And he said, "No, it's on fire. This is really happening." And I drove up, and they had just about gotten the blaze under control. It was mostly just smoke and steam at this point. Just driving up and seeing the windows shattered out, the smoke billowing, the flashing lights, I couldn't process it. The real pain happened a week later, once everything had settled and we had to go in to recover. The only things that had survived were in fireproof safes. Problem was, when you went in, the entire side of the building had collapsed down to a little walkway, and if you hit the walls, they shook the whole building. So we were carrying out 12 safes through about this big. The breaker boxes were switched off, so there's no power going to the store. So the only thing that they could really think of was arson, and they investigated but couldn't find any accelerants, couldn't find any source. The only thing that they knew was that the fire had started upstairs in a back room that was sealed off. So we still don't know what caused it. The next step after that was, to clear everything out, bulldoze it, and then put up a fence, which we have now. There's a little bit of doubt, I'm not gonna lie, there's a little bit of doubt within the family about being able to rebuild and things like that. We're still looking, we're still vying, we're still doing our best to try and see what we can do with this property from this place, but it's been 2 years and hasn't moved, so it's still looking pretty stagnant. It's still fun. In fact, I'd say it's gotten more fun now that we have all these different people who come through. I've met people from all over the world that just happen to come through, and it's been some of the best years of my life, guaranteed. I just really have a personal connection with the stores. The one that burned, I used to literally every day, I had specialty keys that I cut on a key cutting machine that we had at that store to get onto the roof. And I would just go up there and I'd bring friends and we'd just hang out on the roof. It'd be our own balcony. And we'd have everything from Andy's over to the bank building accessible, and it was just a riot. It was so much fun. I miss it so much. So freaking much. But yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say about that.